we're kind of coming out of that now. So we do need to have a look at a bit of a preview. Thankfully, there is a preview that has been put up by Robert Stone and I think it's Blake Howard's. So if we jump over to that, we've actually got it here. So we can have a little look at this and just get a little bit of a look as to what it is that we could be getting on Evolve. So let's jump in and check this out, shall we?
I'm Robert Stone.
And I'm Blake Howard.
And this is your weekly WWE Evolve 2B teaser. We're fresh off Succession, and the party is still the champion because Jackson Drake retained.
That's certainly how we kicked off the night, but probably ended the night. And new Evolve Women's Champion, Kendal. She's been on the media tour all week, and tonight, the very first time as champion, we hear from Kendal.
Yeah, and I hate to sound corny here, but every Wednesday Evolve is getting cooler and cooler. And the truth is, on any given Wednesday, anyone could show up.
Well, Robbie, you know who is showing up tonight? In fact, they're not just showing up, they're running the show. Big Jaw, guest GM for the night. Already put Sean Legacy in action. What else could he cook?
You know, I got to find Big Jaw because last week he told me he was going to get me my own 2B show and talk to the higher-ups. Getting sculpt. I'm Robert Stone.
I accidentally paused that.
Sculpt with Stone. That's right. That is happening. I got to go find him.
He can't be serious. Either way, catch it all live, 8 p.m.
Okay, so Big Jar is going to be the GM tonight. I forgot about that. So Big Jar is going to be on the show. He is kind of like the step-in for Stevie. And so seems like there's a little bit of a surprise. I mean, they're saying you never know who's going to show up on a Wednesday. So that kind of makes me think that there could be a little trick up the sleeve. So, yeah, don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got in store and seeing how they follow up Evolve Succession. AB Jobson, shout out to you, but you was just on screen there. We had double AB Jobs. We had AB Jobson Inception. But hope you're doing well, my friends. Hello, hello. Let me have a look, make sure we're up to date with everything. We are. Right, Keegan, hello, said, sorry I wasn't on the live stream for NXT. My phone died and I had to get a new charger. No worries, buds. I was on Facebook looking up some jokes to make myself feel better. Some of them are really funny. Keegan, feel free to fire a joke in, yeah, if you want to share what you discovered. Joe said, Daze, I want to say a big thank you to William for love and support. I was stalling and he helped me. Oh, okay. Wow. That is actually the first time I've ever seen William getting a thank you. Normally, William gets restraining orders. He doesn't get thank yous. So that is actually history right here. That's amazing. We will remember this stream. This stream has already gone into the history books with William getting a thank you. So, Joe, amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Metal Bomber, hello. Shout out to you. James said, no wonder the NXT stream was somewhat peaceful. James, hello. Hope you're doing well. Keegan said, I made myself laugh because I was looking up jokes and there was one with the parrots. Well, feel free to share it. But I've got to tell you, it's kind of been a little bit built up now. So now everyone's going to be thinking that the joke's going to be hilarious. So if the joke's not like absolutely one of the greatest things that people have ever heard, it's probably not going to land very well, you know? The setup for this has not been very good on my part. It's kind of been set up to fail a little bit. It's one of the, if it's kind of like if someone goes, oh, I've got a joke, you go, go on then, tell me. Ooh. Do you know what I mean? That's not a great situation to be in. So, you do you. Yeah, you do you. Daze, I'm good, thanks, bud. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I am just a little worried about my voice because it just does not have any kind of power in it whatsoever, and I'm losing it really quickly these days. So I sort of am a bit, I don't know. I'm a little worried, and I'm certainly worried for this weekend. Saturday, I've got to try and get through a UFC stream and then a Halloween Havoc stream. So I'm fine, but I'm just a little concerned about my voice at the moment. So gonna have to give it plenty of rest, but I don't really know how I'm going to be able to do that. But whatever, you know, we'll do the best we can. Wrestle with Andy. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Daze, have you ever been inside a ring before? I wonder how much one would be for videos. I've never been inside a ring. No, that's something I would like to do. That's actually part of the reason why I would like to go to Access. Well, not, it's not Access now, is it? It's WWE World. That I don't even know if you can anymore, but I mean, back in the day, you used to be able to get into a ring, and it was a proper official because obviously you can get different rings, 16 by 16, 18 by 18. So I think the WWE one is it 18 by 18? I think it's 18 by 18. I don't think it's 20 by 20. I think it's 18 foot by 18 foot. I might chat GPT that actually, just to double check. What size rings do WWE use? WWE, oh no, it says here 20 by 20. It says WCW, it says early WWF was 18 by 18, but now it's 20 by 20. So, Raw, SmackDown 20 by 20. Are they sure? I asked ChatGPT a question earlier, and it was wrong, and I knew it was wrong. It could be right on this, though. I thought it was 18 by 18 foot, but it could be 20 by 20 foot. But anyway, yeah, to get into a proper WWE ring, to kind of, God, until you're in there, you wouldn't really know, would you, what it kind of feels like? You can sort of mentally picture it, but I don't know. You never know if it's just going to feel smaller than what it looks like on TV, you know? Once you're in there, like, how far away do the ropes feel? Does it feel big? Does it feel small? Don't know. Yeah, don't know. Be good. Yeah, it would be good. That's one of the reasons why I'd like to go to WWE Worlds. I don't even know if they let you do that anymore. To be honest, I think a lot of the exhibitions have been kind of cut back a little bit. I mean, I remember I've said before about a video I saw when they walked around WrestleMania. I want to say it was like 32, Access, 33, something like that. And they walked around and there was all these different things you could do. And it was so good. It was so good. There was all these different things that you could do. And one of them was you could get into a ring. But I don't think they do that so much anymore. But yeah, it would be good. How much would it be for a video? Well, I mean, I'm sure you could just go somewhere to do one for a video. That would be the cheapest option. You wouldn't want to buy one. If you bought a ring, then you would obviously want to do something with it regular. That's what Grimm did, Grimm's Toy Shows. He bought a ring and then obviously started up his own kind of promotion. And then has started working with like the wrestlers and, all of that. So, and he's had some great talent come through. So, I don't think you'd want to buy a ring because you're probably talking, I reckon a second-hand one. I still think you're probably talking $1,000, $2,000. I don't think you're picking up even a second-hand ring for like 200 or 300. I mean, I've got to think it's going to be a decent price. So it's going to be an outlay, obviously. And you're going to want to get your money's worth. So it's probably better to just go somewhere, isn't it? You could do that, Andy. You could go to an indie promotion and go, I'm Wrestle with Andy. Can I get in your ring? They'd let you in. You've got pull. You've got sway. AB said the average size of a ring ranges between 16 to 20. It's measured from turnbuckle to turnbuckle. Armando said, are you watching EO's Marigold match? It's going to be on at 12:30 and I live in the US. I'm not, unfortunately. I do want to, but I believe it's actually one that you've got to kind of pay for and subscribe to and go to like a wrestling wrestling live stream like channel for. So it's not one that's on my agenda. If it was like click on YouTube, there it is, then of course, yeah, no problem. But like, I don't know, to purchase it just to watch one match, no, sadly I won't. I'm sure there will be clips that go onto X that I will definitely keep an eye out for, because that match I am actually really interested in seeing. I am interested in seeing it. So I'll probably end up watching it illegally. Not through Watch Wrestling, but just the sheer amount of stuff that will be posted onto social media. Daze, I've got a photo standing in a ring at Mania 40 Access. It's higher up than you think. It would be good for filming podcast episodes or something. I could believe that, actually, that it's higher up than you think. I could believe that, like, the apron, because the apron comes up quite a good size against the wrestlers. Yeah, I could believe that. Big Time said, Daze, did you get the chance to watch the Cross documentary? No. If you haven't, then I did tag you. I saw that. With a juicy part. It's about 10 minutes long. I saw your tweet saying, oh, you should really watch this. But I've just done an hour and a half kind of members stream. And before that, I was getting a few bits together for that stream. So I've not had a chance to watch it. Is there anything like headline that kind of need to know? AB said some promotions have got experimented with 6-sided rings, even octagonal rings, but the 4-sided squared circle remains the norm. I went to Access, says AB. Mania 26 epic. Yeah, you have to let us know. I mean, what was it like? What could you do? I mean, obviously meet the wrestlers. But what was there? I don't know who would have been around at that time. 26. That still would have been Jax. So would it? That's like, what's that? 2010. So yeah, you wouldn't have had Mattel there, but you would have had the wrestlers. And, what I'm guessing there would have been exhibitions, probably a wrestling. They always had, normally they had matches happening. So I'm guessing there was some wrestling to watch as well. But I don't know if they had, get your picture taken in a ring or call a match with JR, those kinds of things. It'd be good, interesting to know what they allowed you to do at WrestleMania 26 Access. Do you know, I should do that, actually. If you go back through all the old WrestleManias, there's normally some point in the show where they go, well, we had a great time at Access earlier today, and then they show you little highlights from Access. Pretty much every WrestleMania had a little just minute or two of footage. It'd be well worth pulling that out from each WrestleMania, just showing off the different accesses. I should do that. John Cena was a guest of honor, said AB. Daze, it's hard to explain. There's about 6 chapters that are covering different things, and you do need to watch it to understand. Sounds intense. Sonny says, I don't have a cauldron, but I do need one to do witchcraft. Okay, Sonny, do you need to do witchcraft? Right? I didn't expect to sit here and have this conversation with you, but do you need to do witchcraft? I knew this would happen. I knew as soon as Sonny got into tarot cards, it was going to be a slippery slope. And now here we are. A lot of you said this. A lot of you said she'll do witchcraft sooner than later. And here we are. She's now doing witchcraft. And we all know what's next. Human sacrifices. That's what comes after witchcraft. And she'll be like, I need a table. I need a knife. I need someone willing to be sacrificed. Yeah? And then she'll be in the chat trying to recruit someone. That's the slippery slope that Sonny is on. You all think it's innocent Timmies. You all think it's just innocent little tarot card reads and all this, but I'm telling you, there's a darkness there. I've seen it. There is a darkness there. Sonny said, I've been a pagan for 3 years. I've done magic before. I need to do an abundance and projection spell. Well, do you know what I mean? As long as it doesn't involve harming others, then you're all right by me. James said the Cross documentary is great, but there is a lot of reading between the lines of what he's actually saying. Sacrifice Days, said 230. Big Time said 100% there's a lot of blurred lines that people need to watch to understand, especially when he's reading the book and using metaphors. Is he coming back? That's all I need to know. Is he coming back? Where are people on the whole? He's definitely gone and he's not going to be in the Rumble. He's definitely out of WWE. Where's the latest on that? Because I think the whole thing is called It's a Big Work, isn't it? Isn't that the title of the documentary? So, I mean, he has consistently said, I would not use this as a work, which is a very compelling argument. And he has not gone to, like, AEW. So, you know, you do look at... There's a couple of things that you do look at and go... I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. If they had no plans for him for the rest of the year, if they're like, we just don't have anything for you right now, but, you know, you go away and work the indies for a bit, we'll look to bring you back at the Rumble. I mean, it feels like it's far-fetched, but they did that crazy thing with Seth. So, I don't know. And the whole exit was so strange. I'm guessing he addresses that in the documentary, but sounds like there's quite a bit to this documentary by the sounds of it, but no, I've not had a chance to watch it. Kian says, TJF, torture me with being called Mr. Jenna Ortega. I can't wait for Wednesday Addams' skin to come. What does that mean? To come out on the 24th. What does that mean? That, like, you wear it. What's that? You're all being weird. Daisy touched on WWE and how in January they were trying to phase out his wife by having him do 6 weeks of vignettes. Higher-ups were being very weird and strange. It does sound very interesting. I will try and get round to watching it. Adam said, did someone get turned into a newt? It is Halloween season. Is that what's happening? Is that why we're talking about sacrifices? And this is why Kian wants to wear Jenna Ortega's skin? Yeah? Which is not a surprise, is it? I think we already knew that. He definitely is the kind of person that would want to wear her skin. Although Kian, she does need it. Yeah? We have had this conversation before. Yeah, you're right, aren't you? I mean, it is getting close to Halloween. So it does make sense. I don't even know when Halloween is. I mean, it's the 23rd. So is it on the 30th? I think it's the 30th, isn't it? So is that a week today? Yeah. So that'll be next Thursday will be Halloween. I think it's the 30th. I genuinely don't know. We have no decorations up for Halloween. We have absolutely nothing. You can get them, and I'm sure there are houses that have gone, all out for it, but it's just not on our radar, or my radar, or our family's radar. But it's on many of yours, I'm sure. Certainly if you are in the US of A. Keegan said, WWE screwed Cross. I'm the only normal one here tonight, said James. Yeah, you say normal. Keegan says, I'm good. I'm just going to join in the conversation. I might stay out of that conversation, though. It's none of my business, says Keegan. Sometimes, Keegan, it's good to stay out the way. Halloween is the 31st. Oh, 31st. I thought it was the 30th. So it's next Friday then. Got you. Oh, well, they could do a pretty fun SmackDown on that, couldn't they? Do you know what? They don't really do that so much now. If it was Vince, we would go really full on for Halloween, wouldn't we? If it was Vince. Under Triple H, I'm not so sure. We would definitely have a trick-or-treat fight, wouldn't we? A trick-or-treat fight, which would basically be a street fight with trick-or-treat tables and pumpkins and things all around the ringside area. And Chelsea Green would be involved in that match, I'm sure. And the Hervis. So, that's Vince booking. Whether Triple H would do something like that, I'm not sure. AB said, we ordered really hot wings from Buffalo Wings with some onion rings and fries. Not a big fan of onion rings, Not a big fan. I don't really go for them. They don't really do it for me. So if I was round yours, AB, I would certainly be having some of your fries. But your onion rings would be in no danger. Miss Trini, hello, said, hello, loves. My iPhone and I had a toxic breakup last night. Damn, sorry to hear that. So I'm going to use my old Samsung, and it sucks arse. Gonna miss today, but hopefully be back for SmackDown with a new phone. Be blessed. Wow, Miss Trini, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Trini is cheating on her old phone with a Samsung. Yeah, she's left her her old toxic relationship. She's with someone new, someone experienced by the sound of it. An old Samsung knows his way around. Yeah, been there before. Yeah. This is all a metaphor, you see. Basically, what a lot of you won't understand. What Trini is basically saying is that she's broken up from her partner. She's now gone with an older person. Old Samsung is actually slang for like elderly man. And so, you know, she's enjoying some experience loving right now. But that is just a little bit on the side. She's going to dump that person. She's going to have a new partner very soon. So I'm guessing she's already got her eye on someone. Yeah. So a lot of you will read that and think that it is literally about phones. But I'm a professional streamer, so I have the ability to kind of read, you know, between the lines. We were just talking about that, actually, with the Karrion Kross documentary. And if you do that with Trini's comment, you'll see there's actually very real emotion there, a very real situation. So, Trini, very good. Very good. I don't know how old your lover is right now. Might be that dust comes out, you know, that kind of age. But listen, you got to do what you got to do. Big Time said, Daze, they told Scarlett last minute that her deal wasn't going to get renewed. When they discussed the value he can bring, he brought up his book that they would make money off, and talent relations said none of that matters. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Should we do hot takes? I don't disagree with that. I did see a comment from him saying, that's my life. That's my story. Like, don't tell me that doesn't matter. But the thing is, that's not what WWE are thinking about. They're not thinking, oh, we need to tread careful here because that's his life, right? To them, it's a book that they can make some money off. But the amount of money that they're going to make from Karrion Kross's book is minuscule compared to TV deals or Saudi deals or John Cena shirt sales, right? So they're not thinking, oh, we better be careful here about how we word this, right? They're not thinking to themselves, oh, let's not say that his book doesn't really matter to us. Like, they're just a business. Like, it's a business. It's a ruthless business. I didn't really understand where Karrion was coming from with those comments. When they said that to him, I was like, yeah, I can understand that. It's a book that's going to do some numbers, but it ain't going to do like John Cena shirt sale numbers. I mean, it ain't going to, do you know what I mean? Like, think of all the merch they're selling from WWE Shop. So if they're saying about, like, talking about the value, what value can you bring? Yeah, mention the book, because that's going to bring some value. It's going to be, you know, bring some money in. But if they've got a rough idea that it's going to bring in, who knows, 100,000, if that, I don't know. I mean, that's just going to be pennies to them. That's not going to, it's not nothing. So in their mind, they're like, yeah, okay, fine, but we don't need that. That doesn't really mean much to us. And I think he, from what I saw, kind of some of the quotes, it seems like he took offense to that because he wasn't looking at it from the business point of view. He was looking at like, whoa, don't tell me that my book doesn't matter. And it's like, yeah, no, I don't. I think you're having two different conversations here. I think you're having a conversation about the emotion and the sentimental value of the book. And that's not what WWE, I think, were talking about. They were talking about the cold, hard numbers. They were talking about the bottom line. They're not really interested in the, you know, the story that's in there. Everyone's got a story. They weren't really interested. They were more interested in how much money is this going to make us. So I don't know that, but I did see the quotes on that, and I was like, here's a hot take. I don't know that they're both having the same conversation. And if my reading of that situation is true, if my understanding of that is true, because I'm only going off some comments that I've seen, I wonder if that kind of explains maybe a little bit of where the problem is, because Carrion is approaching things from here, WWE are approaching things from here, and they just can't kind of get onto the same page. WWE want to know, financially, what are you going to do for me? Financially, you know, bottom line. So, you know, if Carrion can turn around and go, I'll sell this amount of books, that's going to give you this much money. I reckon I can sell this number of shirts. That'll make you this much money. I think I can do this much from meet and greets, which can generate this much money. If I can get the TV time that I'm hoping that you can give me, I can generate this much from figure sales. I don't know. You get my point, though. If you can break it down into dollars, which is what TKO care about, you know, I don't know, was that the conversation they were having? Or was Carrion a lot more emotional and a lot more coming from it from a slightly different perspective? That's my reading of it, just from having seen a couple of quotes. I do need to put a big caveat, and that is I have not seen the documentary, as people know. So people might be like, no, you've got it wrong. That's not what... And I would be like, okay, I'm happy to concede that I've read that wrong, because I'm only going off a couple of quotes. But, yeah, I don't know. The thing about the book, I was like, yeah, I can sort of see where both are coming from, and it feels like they're both coming from different perspectives. WWE is showing the greatest spooky matches at the moment. Currently, it's the electric steel cage match from WCW, and it is awful. Is that the one where Abdullah the Butcher gets electrified with the switch? Is it that, like the early 90s one? I'm trying to think if there was any other electrified cage matches. Big Time said, I don't get why they're pushing Scarlett. He even said he was getting PTSD from 2021 when they said that we see Scarlett as the singles, stays in NXT, she got fired 2 weeks later, he got fired. Don't know. I don't think they've really seen much value in Scarlett, is the truth. I don't think they see much value in her. I think that they like him, and if he was to stay, I think they would keep her as part of the package, but I don't think they've got any interest in her on her own, which is fine. I mean, that's their right. I don't know how good of a wrestler she is. I mean, I don't know that she can hang with a Julia or a Stephanie or, you know, those kinds of people. She's not had like an intensive run in NXT. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've not really done much to build her up as a credible wrestler. She feels like she could be a little bit sort of Maxine Dupree, you know, a little bit Lana, as in, like, I'm sure she can do it. I'm sure she can wrestle, but she's going to need a lot of work. And she's not someone you can just throw out there and just off you go, you know? I don't know that she's got that kind of experience. So I think for WWE, they're probably looking at it going, she works as part of his presentation. She works as part of the package. But if he's not sticking around, we don't need her. And so, you know, again, no disrespect, but again, I do sort of feel like I get it. You know, it's not hard to work out in the sense of I don't think they rate her. I don't think they want her. I think they would keep, because he was saying, like, they said they would negotiate her deal once they'd sorted his out before he left. And that just says to me, yeah, because if you stay, they will keep her. If you don't, they don't want her, right? And it doesn't matter if they signed her first originally. I mean, I remember in an Ariel Helwani interview, he said it was weird. She got signed by WWE first. It's like, well, that was back in the day. That was a long time ago, when maybe they had ambitions to train her and to make her a wrestler. And, then he gets signed and she becomes like part of his presentation. That ship has now potentially sailed with her being a singles wrestler. And so, the landscape changes all the time. I mean, we've brought in Julia, we've brought in Stephanie, we've brought in Roxanne. I don't think Roxanne was around when Scarlett first got brought in. We've brought in Jordan Grace. We've brought in Blake Monroe. We've been training up next in line. The women's division is constantly evolving. So we might have brought in Scarlett because she was a good-looking girl with some wrestling experience, and we might have thought, yeah, we can do something here. Fast forward 5 years, or however long it's been, 6 years since she first got brought in. Because I think they're talking just before the pandemic. I think the landscape's completely changed. How do you compare this women's division to the women's division of like 2019, 2018? It's completely different. We're in a completely different place. She might have had an opportunity to have been trained up and been a female wrestler at that time. But, she's used the past 5, 6, 7 years to largely be a manager, an acquaintance, a valet for Carrion, rather than, focusing on her own career. And part of that is WWE's fault, of course. They've not pushed her to be her own wrestler. But I think, listen, where we are right now is she's part of the presentation. If Carrion doesn't stay, I just don't think they're interested. Olives are goated, said AB, and that is true. Tesla said Scarlett can go. I've seen some of her Lucha Underground TNA stuff. She used to wrestle against the men as well. Well, I don't know, to be honest. I said I'm not massively seeing her. I mean, I've not seen her wrestle much in WWE. Whether she can get in there and actually work against the guys and add to a women's division, clearly WWE don't feel like they need what she can bring. So, she is part of the kind of presentation, the package deal. So, listen, it's been whoever we want to blame. We can blame WWE, we can blame Scarlett, we can blame Carrion, we can blame whoever. But she has not been getting out there wrestling herself. She has been his side piece. And as a result of that, we're in a situation where she's got no momentum. We haven't seen her wrestling on WWE. In fact, we can have a look on Cage Match and just see, when was her last match? How often has she wrestled? When did she last wrestle? Who has she been wrestling? I mean, it's one thing to look good on the indies. It's another thing to come into WWE and look good. So she's done she was doing those mixed tag matches, wasn't she? So she was involved in some mixed tag matches as part of Final Testament. So she actually worked 6 house shows last year. But that was her as a tag partner. That wasn't her in a singles match. She did a singles match in 2023 against Lyra Valkyria. She did a singles match in 2022. She also did a bra and panties match in 2022. A handful of mixed tag matches. There's a few bits in 2022, singles matches. 1, 2, 3, 4 singles matches in 2022. I reckon there's around about 6, 7 singles matches since 2021 in the past 4 years. 6 or 7 singles matches in the past 4 years. In 2021, she has 1 match against Shotzi. So let's say 10. Let's say 10, right? I think that's more than what she's actually had, but whatever. So let's say 10. She's had 10 singles matches since 2019 in the past 6 years. And I'm just looking at 2019. There's a chunk of matches in 2019. So I'm thinking that in 2019, she was doing wrestling and she was working and she was actually a wrestler, hence why they brought her in. And I think Carrion said she got brought in first. But the problem is that since 2019, it's stopped. I mean, we just have not done anything. We've done 10 singles matches, and to be honest, not even that many. And one of them was a bra and panties match. 10 singles matches between 2019 and where we are right now at the end of 2025. So she's an indie female wrestler that has not been through the NXT system. I mean, how you could throw her in a ring and expect her to be competing against Julia, Stephanie, and, all that kind of stuff. Like, she would need building up. WWE clearly don't have the appetite to do that. They clearly don't have the appetite to put the work into her to bring her up to the required level, however long that would take. And so she is just part of a package deal, which honestly, I don't think is like surprising. I think most people would understand that after everything we've seen with her and Carrion over, since 2019, that, WWE, if they had an interest in her being a singles wrestler, they would have used her. They would have done something with her. They haven't. Outside of her doing some, mixed tag matches. So if he's not around, the interest is just not there with her. Big Time said, we've seen in the past if a wrestler gets over and isn't in WWE's plans, they do try to cut the limbs off. Carrion was fighting that, and so was LA Knight since 2023. We've seen in the past if a wrestler starts getting over and not in the plans, they try to cut the limbs off. Yeah. I think, to be honest, yeah, I think there is some truth to that. I think it's I don't really understand that, to be honest. I wish I could give you a good answer on that. I sort of feel like if someone gets over organically, you should have the flexibility to go with it. The only thing I can think is that you've got a rough outline as to where you want to go. A rough outline for the next few months. I mean, if I was booking, I'm not booking the shows that I'm doing the week of the show. They will be booked months in advance. I need to know my big stories and where I'm going, and that is going to impact my weekly shows. I mean, right now, we would already know what's happening at Survivor Series. I mean, the plans have already leaked. So how do we get to that match, right? Which obviously might need to be tweaked now. But we've already heard about who John Cena's final opponent's going to be. We've heard it's Gunther, right? So we know already that John should be facing Gunther. The streets are saying that it's going to be John Cena Dominic at Survivor Series. So the point I'm making is if you organically get over and you've got the shows already mapped out, how much leeway is there? How much can you change to actually now start capitalizing on that person getting themselves over? So some of it might be not so much that they're petty and that they don't want people getting themselves over. It might not be so much that. It might be more, I can't really capitalize on this until I get through this period. If I'm in creative, I've got the rest of the year booked. I know what LA Knight's doing. I know what everyone's doing. That's me being organized. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing that I know what I'm doing and I know where I'm going. And if someone gets injured, I know what I need to tweak and change and how that's going to affect things. And, is there the flexibility if someone really starts getting over that you can really put them in a position where you can capitalize? You'd like to think so, but I don't know that flexibility is going to be built in. I don't know that flexibility is actually in the structure. And so as a result, you might have to wait till early 2026. The problem you've got is there is zero patience in the IWC. Zero. No patience. And so as a result, you will have for the next 2 months people saying that you're dropping the ball, that you know, people getting themselves over are hated, and you know, all this kind of stuff. So to me, like, I look at it that way and I'm like, I can understand the rest of this year already being mapped out. If we get to January and that person isn't then getting, you know, opportunity, then yeah, questions need to be asked then. Then of course you can go, well, hang on. I understand you're not doing it for a couple of months because you might have had things planned out, but you've got, you know, blank sheet of paper now. Now you should be able to bring them more into your plans, unless you've got them planned out all the way to WrestleMania. But I doubt that. And if you have, it's got to be in pencil, not pen. You know, I don't think there's a lack of flexibility between now and Mania, right? But I could understand a lack of flexibility between now and Survivor Series. I could understand a lack of flexibility between now and John Cena's retirement. I could understand that. But I think, like, after that, you know, that's where it should be a bit more flexible, I would imagine. So, I don't know. I'm a little bit caught on some of those things. I mean, you've got to remember as well that LA Knight is very popular with the IWC, but we don't see the numbers beyond that. Like, everyone keeps saying that he should have won that Battle Royal. Should he? Because what's the numbers saying? It does his merch outsell Jey Uso's? I doubt it. I mean, can we look at his video views on YouTube? How do LA Knight video views compare to Jey Uso's video views? How does LA Knight Google searches compare to Jey Uso Google searches? And, you know, this is the data that WWE are going to have. Now, of course, WWE are the ones that can sort of influence those numbers. You know, if you put someone in that position and really invest in them, you can build them up. So WWE has got the ability to kind of put people in those spots. But if Jey has been the chosen person, if Jey is the one that they've identified as being, this is the guy we want to get behind, and they're getting some good numbers from it, you can sort of understand why they're now reluctant to just throw him away, you know, and instead embrace someone whose numbers maybe aren't as impressive. So that's kind of where I think the creative team are coming from. The counter argument, of course, is, but we need fresh people in the mix. You can't just keep going back to Jey. And I can understand that. I mean, I can understand that. But I'm just trying to understand as to why creative may not have done that. And part of it is that, well, we know the IWC are loud, and the IWC are certainly not 100% of the fan base. And I think that is something that has to be taken into consideration. The fan base is so much bigger than what you see online. Chinny said the problem is that the audience is fickle. You might get yourself over online today, but next week the same people might hate you. If WWE changed plans for you without seeing a sustainable amount of support, and then you fail, then what? Yeah, I think that's a fair point as well. Fans are fickle in the sense of they will get behind someone, root for them, and then as soon as they get like some success, they can abandon them, you know? I mean, there was a very loud "We Want Cody" movement when he got to the title. And then, honestly, there's been a pretty strong pushback online since he became champion of people saying he's boring. You know, I don't know why we keep having Cody on top and all that kind of stuff. And it's like very loud with "We Want Cody." And then, you know, now we're seeing quite a few people kind of push back against Cody. And, you know, that time frame is not the longest of time frames. I mean, we're talking about WrestleMania 40 last year when he finished his story. So we're about a year and a half past that point. And, you know, it's not like they're turning on him now. They were turning on him, you know, at the end of last year when people were like, this is dull, I'm not feeling this. There is just no patience. It's kind of like people watch the show and they react to the show. Do I like it? Do I not like it? What have you done for me right now? How do I feel about you right now? It's very here, now, instant. How am I feeling? Do I like you? Do I not like you? And, you know, the loyalty is kind of hard to come by, to be honest. So I do agree that the fan base has shown itself to be quite fickle in that regard. I think that you can find examples where people have been hot and then they go cold. But, you know, it's one of those where I think it's so big, it's so messy. I don't think it's as straightforward as some people online believe it is. I think that within the fan base, you've got so many different opinions. I mean, you could talk to so many different wrestling fans and you will get so many different perspectives and so many different opinions. You will get people that love someone and then you'll get people that hate that person. You'll get people that like this person, hate that person, vice versa. It's just this big collection of different opinions. And you're trying to find what the majority of people are kind of into. But we don't have that data. We just don't have that data. We don't get to see that. We get to see what gets written online. And again, I have to keep stressing this, that it's a tiny percentage of the big picture, which means that I do think there's some people that look at Twitter, look at social media, they see what the majority is saying and then take that as gospel. They take that as, this is what the wrestling fans are, this is what everyone is saying. And it's like, no, that is not what everyone is saying. That is what the IWC is saying. That is what the internet wrestling fans are saying. But that is a percentage of the bigger picture. It is not the complete picture. And so WWE have to sit down and do what they believe is what's right for them. And listen, who wants WWE to be successful more than WWE themselves? I mean, it's crazy to think that WWE are self-sacrificing, you know? They're kind of making decisions that are going to harm them, you know? They sit in a room with the data that they've got and they constantly try to make decisions that's going to, you know, work. They're not trying to, you know, be mid. They're not trying to get this wrong. And I do appreciate that 2025 has been a frustrating year for many people. And I do understand there's been a lot of misses rather than hits. And listen, Jay winning could prove to be a miss. I'm actually not standing up for Jay winning. I don't care. It doesn't really bother me. I don't care if Jay wins, and I don't care if LA Knight wins. There wasn't really anyone in particular I was rooting for. I think it would have been nice for AJ Styles after putting on a banger with John Cena. I think it would be good for Finn Balor, considering the rumours were he was going to get a big push this year, and there's not been a sign of that. So it would have been nice if I think he had got it. Certainly since they just lost the tag belts as well. That might have made sense. Tag belts have been taken off them. Now we can get behind Finn, you know? But there won't be any numbers back in Finn. I can't sit here and say that Finn's going to have great merch sales. I can't sit here and say that his video views are going to be very good. I can't sit here and say that his Google searches are going to be any good. That would have to be WWE just thinking that they could do something with him, believing that if they go in that direction, they can make it work. They can bring the demon back. They can get some merch going. They could do something more with Demonito. And, you know, this is the kind of thing they would talk about. You know, we could capitalize on that. We could capitalize on the demon. We could capitalize on the fact he's been in Judgment Day and he's not been a singles wrestler. Like, we can make money from this. There is going to have to be a degree at times of, like, going with stuff. But again, you know, if you look at LA Knight and you're like, well, I think he's doing everything he can do right now. He's got all his catchphrases. I don't think we're going to get any better matches out of him than what we're getting. He's not going to deliver another new catchphrase that's going to make $1 billion. I mean, what more do we get out of LA Knight by putting him in that position? we're just probably going to get the numbers we're getting now. Whereas with someone like Finn, I think you could make some adjustments that could deliver bigger numbers than what he's delivering at the moment. I would imagine these are the kinds of conversations that are being had. And so, you know, this is why we end up where we end up. So I think it's really interesting. I mean, all the perspectives on this are going to be very interesting. I'm certainly not preaching from a place of knowledge because I'm not in the room, but that's kind of my reading of it as to why it's gone the way that it's gone. The backlash to Jay winning was very, very loud. Cody and Jay are just not for me, said Nathan. They are the kids' champions. We had Cinema when we had Roman. He was a grown-up champion. Tom said no one from NXT should get pushed because their shirt sales aren't good or they're not on searches. Well, no, but what we just said was that there is going to have to be a degree of going with people and believing that you can improve on those numbers. So like I just said with Finn Balor, you know, you can get behind Finn, who won't have the shirt sales. He won't have the YouTube searches. But if you've got a vision as to what you can do with him, that means that you can then deliver, you know, those numbers. So, for example, if Finn unlocks his demon character again, that's very marketable. And so you can make projections as to how many shirt sales that's going to lead to. So no, you might not have the raw data, but you could certainly sit down and go, well, look, last time Finn was the demon character, he delivered shirt sales on this number. At the moment, he's doing this. If we bring the demon back, we think we can get it back to where it was. And so you've got a rough idea as to what Finn being given that push would look like. With LA Knight, I don't know what you can use as a projection. I don't know what you could use as a benchmark. As I said, with him, he's already got his catchphrases. They've got the data that's going to show how the growth, right? So they've got the data of he's been on the main roster for X amount of time. These are his shirt sales month by month by month. You know, you can look at it and go, okay, well, if we give him this opportunity and we give him the world title, what's the projection in regards to like how many shirts we're going to sell? And they're going to look at that data and they're going to have a number, right? And if they don't believe that that number is worth pulling the trigger with, then that's maybe not the direction you go, given the other options on the table. So with NXT, you got someone like Oba Femi. You can look at Oba's shirt sales in NXT. There might even be a rough kind of guide that, okay, if you do X amount in NXT, times it by 10 when you get on the main roster. That'll give them a projection of Oba Femi should deliver shirt sales. We project in this range. I mean, there will be a lot of that kind of work where you've got actual numbers, which obviously is better than projections. So your actual numbers are more concrete. You can't always use those, as you said, because of NXT. So you're going to have to go with projections. And then you've got like your projected shirt sales, your kind of projected Google searches and all of that data. And listen, I would like to believe that that is the kind of work that goes into selecting the way forwards and trying to figure out who the right horse is to back. Because at the end of the day, you've got a lot of options. And you have to try and make sure that you're selecting the right option for the business. That's got to be based on something. And, you know, that's got to be based, I would imagine, on raw data. That's what I would imagine it's based on. I can't imagine that it's just, do we like LA Knight? No. Do we like Jay? Yes. I mean, I really don't believe it's that petty. I really don't believe a company of this size, with the amount of analytics that it's got available, is going to take that approach. You know, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that there's a lot more that kind of goes into those discussions, into those conversations. David says, Faber from CNBC, the Uncle Dave of business mergers, has announced that Warner Brothers have rejected 3 takeovers from Paramount. I heard that Netflix is not going to go for Warner Brothers, which was interesting. Nathan said, I didn't press, unlike Jay. I think that's a waste of time. I am more drawn to heels since I'm an adult. I find them to be more compelling. Finn is actually being held back, says Will, with Judgment Day. With very few tweaks, you could elevate him on the card. I agree. I agree as well. Daze, MVP did an interview and he did a great quote. He said that wrestlers are performing in front of an audience of one, which is the people backstage, and then the fans come second. Well, that's his belief, isn't it? I mean, he is someone that's not very happy with WWE and he's not happy with Triple H. So, you know, him being disgruntled is not a great surprise to me. You know, he is someone that I think wanted... It's kind of crazy to me, though, because he got brought back at the Royal Rumble as a nice little surprise, and he got a nice pop, and they kept him around. And, you know, I just sort of feel like he had this kind of other run, which I don't know that he was really expecting to have. He got this new lease of life. And then, like, it's all ended being really bitter and all of this, you know. Something's got lost along the way, you know. I mean, I don't know if when he came back it was, like, with Vince and he's just always hated Triple H. And maybe it was just never going to work with Triple H. But I don't know. Honestly, that's the kind of narrative that I just find to be very... insincere. I just think that's based on a real life issue. I just think that there is real life heat between MVP and Triple H. I don't know how Triple H feels about MVP, but I know that MVP has got a problem with Triple H. So, you know, him coming out and making a comment like that, it's of no interest to me because it's not coming from a sincere place. I can't use that and say that that is true of everyone when I know that he has a specific problem with The Office. So, Steve said they are always business decisions and conversations about how to move forwards. But from years of watching, I do think there has to be some level of pettiness that goes on. I don't know. I think that you've got a lot of data, and I think that I just put myself in that situation. I put myself in that situation of if I'm looking to try and find that next breakout star, if I'm looking at who's the next person I need to get behind, if I'm in that creative team or certainly head of creative like Triple H, and I'm looking at like all of my options. I mean, listen, Triple H has got one concern, and his concern is to put on the best show that gets the best ratings. That's it. That's the number one concern. That's what he gets judged by. And that's what that's what he cares about. If I'm Triple H, my top concern is getting good ratings, getting tickets sold, delivering an engaging product. And I really don't want to do anything that's going to go against that. It's not in my interest. I am cutting my nose off to spite my own face if I do anything that goes against that. So I just think that he has to be sitting down, looking at data. And yeah, listen, it could be real close. It could be one of those where he goes, we could go with LA Knight. And, we might be able to get him to, this level. Or do we go with Jay, who when we did go with him earlier in the year, he got to that level. Like, do we take that? Where are we? Do we take that gamble and try and get behind it, or do we go with Jay? And then maybe Jay won that conversation, I just really struggle with the concept, which is a very popular concept because it's an attractive concept, that, there is this real pettiness that exists and that forms a large part of the booking decisions. I'm not going to say that it never features, right? I'm not going to say that it never features. Because, they are human at the end of the day. And I'm sure pettiness is definitely a factor in the world, of course. But I just don't believe that it is a major thing like online seems to believe it is. I think it's just more fun for people to believe that, you know? It's just more fun for people to believe that there's all this backstage drama and that there's all this pettiness and that there's people being held down and all that kind of stuff. Which I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying I think that there's a lot more thought given into these decisions than I think people give it credit. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, you know. Okay, here's Big Jar. Okay, we are starting. I hope you get a new phone soon, Trini, says Keegan. Benny said, Daze, I agree, tickets have been expensive. They have been expensive. Here's Vanity Project. Right, I don't know where we are with this. In regards to, like, are we going to see Zayda Steele? Is she still around? Yes, she is still around. She's the first out, actually. So here is the Vanity Project. And Zayda Steele coming down. Steve said, I don't believe that pettiness is the main driver, but I think that there is, none would be naive. Perhaps it's more Vince than Triple H. Yeah, I completely concede that there will be a degree, a percentage. I would think it to be small. I would think a lot of big decisions are made based on data. But yeah, I mean, human at the end of the day. It's an interesting conversation. It's one that a lot of wrestling fans have been having with the whole LA Knight, Jey Uso thing, you know? Okay, here's Zayda. Let's see what she's got to say. So we're coming out of Succession, and Zayda is celebrating the fact that Jackson is still the Evolve champ. Addition by subtraction. Do you know what? It is a shame, actually, that we've not been letting her talk. I only just realised, like, how little she's been talking since, like, we just gave her the microphone. Here's Keanu Carver. Keanu Carver has made his way down. Here's Big Jar. Big Jar is guest general manager. Tonight is going to be full of surprises, he says. Chill out, Zayda, baby. I'm allowed to be GM for the week at least. Okay. Main event. So it looks like it's going to be a 6-man tag. Who's it going to be? OTM. It's not that exciting, is it really? But OTM are here. I mean, we just haven't seen much of OTM at all. OTM jumping in the ring. They're going after Swipe Right. Okay, double choke slam. Swipe Right go down. OTM going over to Jackson Drake. Jackson Drake gets into the middle of the ring. And on the outside is Keanu Carver. We're not in the Performance Center, by the way. We are back in the Evolve Arena. Keanu Carver gets in the ring. Jackson Drake is surrounded. He manages to evade, gets out the ring, goes over by the entranceway. So it looks like our main event is going to be Swipe Right, Jackson Drake against OTM and Keanu Carver. I actually don't mind Keanu Carver in that group. Looking at those three standing together, it looks really good. He actually looks really good in that group. Keanu Carver, that could be a really nice fit. Here's Sean Legacy. So, Sean Legacy, I think, is in action. Taker 99, you said it sounds like OTM is using Jada Parker's older theme music. Honestly, but I don't remember it. I don't remember it. Steve said, do we think Zay disappears? I'm guessing so, yeah. I'm guessing she will. They might make a comment about, like, that she's gone. They could just move on without her, though. They do record a batch of episodes in one go, don't they? I agree, said Shakeem. Hello, Shakeem. Hope you're well. Okay, we're talking about Idris. Idris left a little while ago now, so... Are we doing Idris match? That is the downside, isn't it, with recording like a chunk of episodes in a go. Yeah, it is. Idris Enofe against Super Sean Legacy. It's got to be his last match, isn't it? It's got to be Idris's last match. It is a bit of a shame because, of course, I mean, if Idris wins, we ain't going to follow up on it. And if he loses, well, he's done. Okay, we've got a little advert for John Cena. So, Sean Legacy versus Idris Enofe. Lovely. It is tough to invest in some of these matches, knowing that so many have gone, said Steve. I agree. Prehistoric Vintage said, this is definitely Idris's last match. He actually had a match already that I thought was his last match. So, yeah, I am surprised. William said, I am totally not going to form a revolt against Daze. To find people who join me and then time them out, says William. William, shout out to you. Hope you are well. I think if there is a revolt, I would expect you to be at the forefront of it. Keegan, hello. Shout out to you. Who is this big jar guy? Said wrestler. I don't know. Apparently he hosts a show on Tubi, I think. I think that's where he's... Does anyone know who this big jar guy is? I genuinely don't know. Right now, I've just got an advert at the moment. We're at our first commercial break. Prehistoric said, Wendy Choo's new look is kind of good for her. Mayor Pete said, I don't know who Big Jar is either. We want you to say hi to us, Daze, says William. Well, William, hello. Welcome to Evolve. This is the post-Succession show. Okay, here's Wendy. Is this like a therapy session for Wendy? She's going through a change, isn't she? Which is quite interesting. We're actually seeing character development in Evolve. I tried to stand out. I wanted to be different. But I lost my identity. I feel disconnected from everyone. She has been, though, hasn't she? This is really interesting. I was hurt. This is really good. What would a future where you're more understood look like? It's really weird her being upside down yet, but I can see her eyes open. Okay, here's Choo and Chantel. Yeah, that was good. Bit of character development work on Evolve. Yeah. There's no amount of head meds that can fix Wendy's bargain bin brain. Keep my name out of your mouth, otherwise the next therapy you'll be doing is physical therapy. So Chantal Monroe with a few words there for Wendy. Clearly a feud match that we're building towards. Right now we got Idris Enofe. He's coming out. He's going to be taking on Super Sean Legacy. Little bit of a shame, as we said. This is a bit of a downside. It would be so much better if it was live. Idris Enofe stepping in the ring then as the commentators put him over. Mayor Pete said, I feel bad for Wendy. She's got a lot of potential. I'm glad that she is at least exploring her character more. Rob said character development in Evolve. You mean her character is evolving? That's exactly what it's doing. Johnny said Solo's MFTs could have used Wendy's help against Nikki. Oh, God, don't say that now. Poor girl's been lost for ages. Now you're saying there was something for her to do. Defcon said, Daze, this is my first time watching Evolve. It's really fun. Shout out to the DWO members. Defcon Prime, shout out to you. Yeah, it's a good, easy watch, Evolve. I mean, we're already like 15 minutes into the show. They've set up the main event. It's been an interesting little vignette. And you get to see like a lot of emerging talent. But as we've said, you know, it is quite frustrating that some of this talent, that is great. Really slow. High five. That was great. Super Sean Legacy is a really fun person to watch. This would be a good match, actually, in all fairness. Sean Legacy in the ring there. Look, Idris wanted to jump him. The referee trying to keep him back. I liked Idris. I think it's a shame that we kind of wasted so much time him being in that tag team with Malik Blades. Here we go. Sean Legacy then straight out the gates. Unloading on Idris. Lovely shots coming in. This match worth watching. Mainly for Sean Legacy. Inverted atomic drop. Lovely sell there by Idris. Legacy. Big boot to the back. And to the front. Standing moonsault. Lovely. 1, 2. Dave Meltzer gave Kendal, Gray, Callie Armstrong last week 4 stars on Evolve. It's good, isn't it? 2 young Evolve talents. Not really being utilised on NXT yet. Delivering a 4-star match. Very good. Against the ropes goes Idris. Clothesline. Down goes Sean. One, shoulder up already. Daze, what version of Wendy do we prefer? The nice Sleepy, evil Sleepy, or Mi Ying from Tian Sha, or Karen Q? I don't remember seeing much of Karen Q. I remember the Tian Sha stuff, but we never did. I don't remember her wrestling when she was in that Mi Ying. I think the nice Sleepy was quite good. I think it was different. It divided opinion. But I think nice Sleepy, where she could be talking to people, helping people out, being there if someone like needed some support. Like, the problem with her going dark and moody was she's right, it alienated her from everyone. She was just this moody presence in the background. And if you haven't got the creative to support that, it doesn't really work, because she's just this kind of moody person that keeps herself to herself. It just alienates her so much. She's not really involved in promos, dialogue. She's just sort of in the background all the time, you know. I suppose in a way a bit of a similar problem with Nikki Cross. You know, we're not seeing Nikki getting involved in really interesting conversations. She's just kind of lurking in the shadows. But at least with Nikki Cross, she's in the Wyatt Six, and you've got hope they're going to do something with her. Wendy Choo, she just slipped into Evolve, didn't she? So I think the moody thing was interesting, but they just did not have the creative to support it. So I think I would go with the chattier, friendlier, but still sleepy gimmick. I feel like there's something you could have done with it. I don't know why don't know. Again, it needs creative, doesn't it? It's a gimmick and it needs supporting. It needs creative. That's nice, that by Sean Legacy. I tell you what though, with Wendy, she's shown that you can give her a gimmick and she'll make it work. She can, like, you know, as long as you support it with the creative, like, she really embodies it. She's like Alexa. She gives it her all. She's very good at, like, you know, being that character. She's very good, like, character actress. Every time that they gave her something to do, she put 100% into it. I don't blame her for these things failing. Oh, little bit slow. 1, 2, and he gets it though. Had him on the shoulders, flipped him over into like a net breaker cutter. It was seemed a little bit slow actually, but very quick match overall. It's a decent win for Sean Legacy. Not a match that I think is going to get many pulses racing, though. It was okay. I like this. Look at that. That's great, isn't it? Goes through the ropes. It's not a 619. He goes through the ropes, holds on, and then uses his core strength to kind of move around and, like, kick him in the heads. Okay, we've got Chewie at ringside. We've got an interview happening. Let's get the poll up, shall we? I miss seeing Nikki wrestle, says James. Succession was the biggest show, and I wasn't able to compete on it. When is the next Tubi special? That's what I want to know. Okay. Timothy Thatcher? I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting Timothy Thatcher to get called out. I don't know if he's calling him out or what he's doing, actually. It's time to come back. Is it? Is it time to come back? Okay, Zeta Steel is going to be in action against a mystery opponent. Okay, next Wednesday, we've got a new debut coming from LFG. Okay. Oh, mate, I hope it's Bailey Humphrey. I hope it's Bailey Humphrey. Let's end the poll for that first match, shall we? See what you lot thoughts. Good 58, great 38, all-time 4, bad 0. You said that was good 100%. You really liked it. I thought it was fine. It didn't really do much for me. But to be honest, I didn't expect it to end as quick as it did, so. Big Time said, how far... Oh, hang on. No, I'm at commercial break. How far in advance do we think they will tape Evolve? Because Idris and Zayda, who have been gone for nearly a month. Well, I'd imagine that it's about a month, honestly. I mean, I would not... I mean, if I look on again, if I have a look at Cage Match and search for Idris and Ofe, it will tell me what his last match was. Idris Inofe. Idris Inofe. Actually, it doesn't, which I'm really surprised at. It says his last match was Tate Wilder, which I think was the last one we saw. So I don't think this match we just saw has been listed. So I've got to presume that that was it. I've got to presume that that was the last match. Laredo Kid's going to be on Evolve next week. Marcus Mathers against... Okay, they're going to do a triple threat. Evolve against ID against AAA. I don't know why Big Jar's around. I don't know why we've got Big Jar. Okay, we got Riggins. Oh, yeah, these are the guys that have been battling adrenaline drip. Next time, they won't catch us slipping. Such a good team. Adrenaline drip are so much fun to watch. Is this going to be next week? Okay, here's Zayda. She's going to be taking on a mystery opponent. Don't know who this is going to be, but looking forward to finding out. So, blumming out, it's just another match where we have someone that has departed. Dun, dun. The Zaydenators are pumped up. I don't know that this is going to be anyone that exciting, but they have said it's a mystery. Oh, okay. It's Thea Hale. Okay. Yeah, I'm here for that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Do you know, I was only thinking yesterday, actually, where Thea Hale was. Thea Hale is in the ring. Okay, let's see what they've got in store for Thea Hale. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. This is a really interesting match, actually. This is really good because Zayda's not the tallest girl. So, size-wise, these two are actually quite close. Kick coming in there by Thea. Standing moonsault. No joy. Zayda goes over in the corner. Thea. Zayda over the other side. Zayda wants a handshake. No, she wants a fist bump. Fist bump now. Fist bump. Fist bump. Kick coming in there by Zayda. Back elbow. Their ring gears seem quite close. Zayda dancing away. Thea grabs her. Takes her down. This could have been a really fun feud, actually. Zayda goes over against the ropes. Thea coming in, grabbing the leg there of Zayda. There's a lot of posturing and gesturing. That's okay. But we just need a bit more wrestling. Zayda goes down. Zayda and Thea are basically wearing the same gear, said Prehistoric. It is very close, isn't it? Shot coming in there by Zayda. Nice double knees. Thea comes in the ring. Zayda going over, grabbing a hold of Thea. Kicks coming in there by Zayda. Stomping away on Thea. Thea down in the corner. Crowd are behind Thea. We got some Thea chants. Thea going over the other side. Zayda coming in. Big knee. Nice sell there. That was pretty fun by Thea. She kind of like slumped down. Zayda in control. Right now we got Thea over against the ropes, getting choked at the moment. And again, we've got Thea down. I'm going to miss Zayda on Evolve, said Johnny. She's good. She's pretty fun. Ajid Car, shout out to you, buds. Zayda shaking the ropes, getting fired up. Roll up there by Thea. 2. No joy. Duck underneath, looking for a backslide. No joy again. Down goes Thea. Zayda's down on her knees. Zayda coming over. We're getting stuck into the wrestling right now. Knee in the back, chin lock being applied. Crowds, I like this. I'm into this match. Thea getting up to her feet. Lovely work. Chin breaker going over to the corner. Boot coming out there by Thea. Zayda going down. Boot. Oh, lovely work. Big knee there by Thea. Screaming get up at Zayda. Zayda goes down. And again, double axe handle. Over in the corner. Bang. Big collision there by Thea. Looking for a suplex. Lovely. Thea is up on her feet. She's grabbing a hold of Zayda. She's got her fall away slam. No. Whoa. Nice. Thea shaking the ropes. Bottom rope. Senton. Springboard senton. She's fired up. She's bringing the energy. Right now we got... Ricky Smokes comes round. Thea Hale stomps on the arm. She got distracted. 2, kick out. Zayda. Oof. Headbutt there by... the Kimura. It's in. She taps. She gets her with the Kimura. Yeah, not bad. I did not mind that at all. I actually preferred it to the first match. Just personal preference, though, innit? I like Thea, I like Zayda, so watching two wrestlers that you like compete, and also because of the fact they're so close in size, it obviously made like a difference as well. So you're seeing like Thea in there with like much bigger girls. Kimura gets it though, it's a win for Thea. Smile on the face of Thea Hale. Zayda's livid. Look, she's upset. I just wondered if she was about to walk away then, Zayda. If this was her, like, I'm done with this. We've got its goal. Here he is. Here he is. The studometer, let's go. Who's on the studometer? John Cena's on the studometer. Oh. Okay. Okay, so its goal is talking about his inspirations. A 9.5 for the prototype. The Ringmaster's next. Why is he selecting all these great wrestlers' kind of first gimmick? Wonder what the thought process is there. He's selecting like Ringmaster, he's selecting prototype. $8.7's not bad for the Ringmaster. That was pretty fun. It was very watchable. I love it, Skull. That's my guy. I feel like with the right creative, you could really do some stuff with. Him. Keegan said, "What is the UFC fighter's name that did the Undertaker theme?" It was Adesanya, I think, wasn't it? Israel Adesanya. John Cena on the studometer said Angel. Okay, we've got another commercial break. Sonny is pulling the cards. Here we go. Prehistoric said Deja 9.5 on the studometer. Stop it. What little old me. Main event next, said Prehistoric. Sonny, have you pulled the cards? I think they could have aired a couple more commercials instead of that It's Goal segment. Oh, didn't you like it? I think it's got potential. Certainly if he's going to look back at some fun old gimmicks. Imagine like if he does Bastion Booger or something like that on the studometer. I want him to, like, it's not as fun when they're good. I want him to rip into people. And then what would be really fun is if we could bring one on 1 week. Imagine we could have, like, someone, a legend. Why don't we do that? Why don't we bring a legend from the past that we haven't seen in forever? Bring them on, you know? Imagine that he, like, does the boogeyman on the studometer. He's like, eating worms. I'm all about protein, but that's not it. He gets 2. And then, like, you know, later in the show, Boogeyman appears. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a few things you could do with it that could be pretty fun. I wonder if Boogeyman could have a match. One more match. It's Gall against... But guys, I've booked It's Gall against Boogeyman now. Mentally, I've booked that. And imagine It's Gall and the way he would react to the Boogeyman, like OTT, proper scared. Here's Aaron Rourke. That's crazy classics. He was bullied. This is quite good. Good. Here's Brooks. He's got a Thunderbolt Patterson shirt on. Yes, Big Jar. Big Jar's not going to have Brooks Jensen raising his voice. Okay, so Brooks needs to earn another title shot. New ID contracts. Oh. New ID talents arrive next week. And Big Jar's like, oh, I can't wait to meet him. Big Jar, how long are you sticking around for? Right, main event. Main events. I do like Zeta Steele. Zeta Steele's like, she's like all in tears and everything after her loss. These guys are getting ready for the main event. They're all doing that, and she's like, yeah, she's not happy. Okay, Vanity Projects. Mentally, why can I not spell vanity? Vanity Projects versus Keanu and OTM. Let's go. Zeta's still upset in the ring. Said prehistoric was good. It was good, wasn't it? It was good. If I was ringside, I'd be like, you lost. You lost. You lost. You lost. Cry forever. Cry forever. And she'd be like, shut the up. And I'd be like, I was only trying to have some fun. That's really hurtful. Okay, Vanity Project getting their intros. Age Cart said, are there any plans for the whip? Is there ever any plans for the whip? No. No, I always go into it blind. I never even. I'm not even in control of it anymore. It's Tommy that controls it all. Keegan said, "Do you play Supercard?" I don't, but no, I did when it first came out about 10 years ago. and very quickly learned how much time it takes to, like, you know, play. And I was like, no, I'm out. They had this event over a weekend where it was like the more matches you won, the higher up a league table you got. And at the end of 2 days, if you was in the top 1,000, you got like this kind of card. If you was in the top 10,000, you got this card. So you was battling everyone else, trying to get as many wins as possible. And I really put a lot of time in as a result to try and get the best card I could. And I spent like 2 days just playing matches, trying to win and just play, win. And at the end, I got a really nice card. But I was like, this ain't worth it, man. All that to try and, like, you know, I don't need this. It was taking up way too much time. So I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm out. But when in that first season, when it first launched, I put quite a bit of time into it. But I was like, this is just taking up too much of my time. Swing and a miss there by Keanu Carver. Halloween Havoc's looking good, said Angel. It is, yes. Sonny said, can I pull a card for you? You've pulled a card for me so many times, Sonny. I feel like I've had every card there is to have now. I can't imagine my fortune is changing that often. I would say pull a card for Aubrey. Pull a card for Aubrey. I want to know what Aubrey's future is going to hold. Hopefully something really bad. Hopefully something horrific. Have you got the death card, Sonny? I don't want that for you, Aubrey. I just wondered if it was in the pack. There you go. Look, Dean wants it as well. Chop coming in there by Brad Baylor. Brad Baylor getting hurt. Yeah, really hurt. Big shot coming in. Oof. I do love the reaction there by Brad Baylor. Up. Baylor with a forearm shot. No joy. Price has got Baylor up. What's he going to do? He's going to slam him down, mate. He's going to slam him down. Tag being made. Here comes Bronco. Brad Baylor, double back elbow. Down goes Brad Baylor. One. Just the one count. It's going to take a little bit more than that. Bang. Baylor goes down again. Over the other side. Oh, knee to the back. That was nice. Sonny said, the card is the Ace of Wands. It's all about new beginnings. There you go, Aubrey. You've got the Ace of Wands, which is new beginnings. That's nice. Okay, we're going to commercial break. And it is little John Cena adverts. Dean, Sonny's going to pull you a card as well. That's what I was thinking, says Keegan. Yeah, it was just time. I did give it a go, but it was just time. Daze, what would you do if you came across a story where Gal Gadot and I were messed up in a torrid love affair and I was leaving her broken and inconsolable? Would that make it into Unseen? Yeah, I'd probably put it in the community folder or maybe the fun folder. Take a 90 cents. Since the MFTs are targeting the Wyatts, do we think that Solo will bring in a female member? He might do. He doesn't have to because, unfortunately, they've shown that they're quite happy to just have members standing around in the entranceway. I mean, Nikki has kind of been in the entranceway throughout all of the Wyatt 6 stuff this year. Same as Rowan. I don't think Rowan's actually had a match this year, has he? Has Rowan been in a match? Actually don't know. I'm going to have a look. I don't even know if Rowan's had a match. So they might not bring anyone in and she might just kind of have to stand around. I hope they do bring someone in so that she can actually get involved in something. Here's Brad Baylor. We are back to the action. Brad Baylor in there looking for the cover. Has Rowan had a match, been involved in a match? Yes. Yes. One. So the Wyatt Six took on Berto, Sabin. So they took on DIY and no, they didn't. They took on Berto, Sabin, Johnny, Montez. So one member of each tag team. They did that in June. I don't even remember that match. I absolutely do not remember that match. Wyatt Six against Berto, Sabin, Gargano, and Montez Ford. I have no memory of that. But it was on SmackDown and it happened. That's the only TV match that Rowan has been in this year. So they've shown that they're all right with just having people standing around. So yeah, hopefully they bring someone in for Nikki, but I don't think it's guaranteed. Brad Baylor all over Bronco right now. Big boot there by Jackson Drake. If Solo does bring in a woman, would it be Nia or Tamina? I don't think it would be Tamina. Unless they're going to bring her in for a one-off thing. Nia would probably make more sense. Because Nia's actually on the roster and she actually needs something to do. So Nia would make more sense. But how Nikki would overcome a challenge like Nia Jax, I'm not sure. But, maybe that would be part of the story, part of the narrative. Knee coming into the midsection there by Ricky. We got Keanu Carver on the outside. Here's Jackson Drake. Super kick. Super kick. Right now, big back body drop. Ricky Smokes goes down. Tag being made. In comes Lucian. Back elbow. Duck underneath. Pick. Look at that. Lovely Uranagi. Oh, and another one. Right now, he's picked up Jackson Drake. He's got the Evolve champ in the air. Chucks him onto swipe right. Vanity Project being dealt with by one person. You never know what's going to happen on a Wednesday night in Evolve, says Pete Rosenberg. Brad Baylor. Drop kick. Tag being made. Here's the champ, Jackson Drake. He comes down on Price. 1, 2. No joy. No joy. Right now, Vanity Project having to regroup. Reaching over, tag being made. Here's Brad Baylor. Brad's getting in the ring. Swipe righter in there. I don't know where the other members have gone. Looking for a... No, reversed. Suplex there by Price. Here's Keanu. Keanu. On the outside, tag being made. Keanu's coming in. Jackson Drake's in. He's got Jackson. Bang. Big Samoan drop. Big Samoan drop. He grabs Ricky Smokes. Hurls him over his head. Here's Brad Baylor. Bang. Baylor goes down. He has got his arm in a cast. I mean, what if he uses the cast as a weapon? Jackson Drake is down. We've got to be building towards Keanu Carver, Jackson Drake, haven't we? Brad Baylor grabbing Jackson Drake, trying to save him. Bang. Oh, stomp on the outside there by Nima. Ricky Smokes takes out Nima. That's going to leave Jackson Drake and Keanu Carver in the ring. Ricky Smokes just hit Price. Hurt his own arm. Jackson is going through the ropes. Drop kick. Down goes Price. He's got Keanu Carver in his sights. He's looking to come in. Murks him. Murks him. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Keanu wins, but he uses the cast. He uses the cast. Champion knocked out. Is that allowed? Well, there we go. OTM standing tall with Keanu Carver. I think there has to be a bit of an asterisk next to it, though. I mean, Jackson Drake's obviously going to complain about it, and rightfully so. Let's get the thing up, shall we? The poll up. Match score. Is that the last time we're going to see Zayda steal? It is such a shame that she's going. There we go. That was the end of the show. To be honest, pretty standard show. I did enjoy Zayda against Thea Hale. Sean Legacy in the opening match, it wasn't very long. So, I mean, there wasn't really too much to get from that. I think the Wendy Choo vignette was quite interesting. I enjoyed the It's Gold thing. I think there's potential with it. It might not have been the strongest episode, but as an introduction to a concept, okay, yeah, I think we can do something with that. Main event, it just didn't really mean anything. It's in a way, it's good to see Vanity Project competing together, but I think it would have been better if it was kind of built against people they had been wronging, you know. Keanu Carver was good, but OTM just felt a little bit thrown in. I don't know if there's been any issue between OTM and Vanity Project, so yeah, that one didn't really grab me as much. There was some all right action in it, though. But, yeah, I mean, look, some interesting bits in there. And I think we're definitely building towards Keanu against Jackson Drake. I think that's a match that we're going to end up getting. No sign of the women's champ, of course. And, yeah, I don't know. Is that the last time that we see Stevie Turner as well? There wasn't really any big send-off or anything. But as soon as we're done with these TV tape shows, and it's time for the next round of TV tapings, then, of course, there won't be a Zayda Steele, there won't be an Idris Enofe, there won't be a Stevie Turner, there won't be a Jin Tala, although she wasn't on this show anyway. And she's now with Ilya Dragunov. That's the latest tea, isn't it? Tony Khan loves multi-person money matches, said James. Thank you, says Keegan. Keegan, thank you. That match dragged a little bit, said Prehistoric Vintage. I knew that I could be left part of that comment on it. Describes my frustration. Hello, Taker. Hello, community. If I've missed you, hello. I am in self-pity mode, says Trini. I want to say I understand, but you lost me with a little more information, please. Trini, shout out to you. I hope you're well. Trini said her new phone is an iPhone. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Why change the habit of a lifetime, eh? Stick with what you know. Stick with what you like. Kieran says, see you on Friday. See you on Friday, buds. I am well. I hate this bleep phone that I'm using at the moment. Well, not for long, eh? An iPhone on the way. I've never used an iPhone, but, you know, they're meant to be like market leaders, aren't they? Every time I see reviews of phones, iPhone's always highly recommended. Sonny has pulled a card for Keegan. It is the Three of Wands upright. That signifies progress, expansion, and foresight. it indicates that initial plans have been successful. It's going to lead to momentum and future opportunities. There we go. If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's what they say, says James. William said, I use what Daze uses. He is where he is because he is my hero, says William. William, shout out to you, bud. Trini said it's so fast and easy. I have heard that. My phone feels like it is effortless, but this Samsung phone feels like work. Breaking news. Right, let's have a look, shall we? See what you lot scored that main event. See what you gave it. So, wow, yes, again, good 100%. No one saying these matches are bads. They're just goods. So, another good 100%. So, there we go. We are done. That is another week of Evolve. Appreciate people joining us. We are obviously going to be back. Well, I mean, there's unseens on the channel. We do have the Wrestling Escape Pod tomorrow. But I would imagine most of you will see us on Friday for SmackDown. But we've got UFC on Saturday. And, of course, we have got... Not only have we got that, but we've also got Halloween Havoc. So it's a big weekend this weekend. I am going to work on Unseen. And I am going to rest my voice as well. Because it needs resting before Saturday. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate it as always. Have a great evening. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.